Hello, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's rant, I wanted to talk about control freaks and conversations because sometimes you'll be having a conversation with somebody or you'll be having a conversation with multiple people, and it can be, talking, or it can be in text or written form. Maybe you're in a group chat with somebody, maybe you're in a call with someone and there's multiple people on the call. And sometimes people like to dictate what we can and can't talk about. And, they'll tell us that a certain topic, that we want to talk about is off limits. And, it starts to feel like these people are trying to control our speech and tell us, what we can and can't talk about. And it can be really aggravating because a lot of us are adults and we should be able to talk about whatever we want to talk about without these people, getting down our throats about it. And what's the point of having an open conversation, an open dialogue, if you're not allowed to bring up certain things in the conversation? And I understand if someone is talking about that in a sense of, the topic at hand may be a little bit insensitive for someone, or they may have had trauma with the topic that's being talked about. Like if you're talking about a bank robber or bank robbery and someone in the conversation has experienced being in a bank when it was robbed, I could understand in that aspect, the person being really upset and not really wanting to talk about it. But I'm not really talking about that because obviously I think a lot of people would understand that situation. But I'm talking about these people, that just want to police everything that you say, And this happens to me sometimes when I use this app, and you can join different group chats and you can find people to talk to. And some groups have like 50 to 60 people. But, there's people that create the group, and then they have people that are admins in the group that can, remove people. And, sometimes they'll just randomly tell you that you can't talk about something, and it's funny because they want to try to control my speech, and they're little control freaks. And it's just hilarious how people think that they have the power to tell people that they can't talk about certain things. And I don't know where they think they have the right to do that to people. I don't know if they think that people are actually going to listen because, how would they feel if, they were talking and then I came in and was telling them that they can only talk about certain things and they can't talk about other things, I'm pretty sure they would be pretty upset with that. So, I just don't understand where all this control freak behavior comes from when it comes to speech. And this happens all the time on YouTube videos where people are told, or even TikTok, where they're told that they can't say certain things in videos, or, the video may get taken down. Or on TikTok, there's live streams on there, and the creators on there say that they can't say certain words like suicide. They have to use the word alive. He alived himself instead of suicide. And, it's scary because TikTok is run by the Chinese companies or whatever it is. So, China is very strict on speech. So it's kind of like being on there. It's kind of like living in China where your speech is very regulated and you can't say certain things. So, it's really scary when people try to control your speech. And, that's why I'm happy I live in a country that thankfully has some form of freedom of speech, because I don't want to live in a country that doesn't. And when people are clamping down on your speech, telling you what you can't say, it really, even if it's online, it really makes you like appreciate the fact that you do have freedom of speech. And, that's why, if someone doesn't really like what I'm talking about, then I always tell them that they can leave. Like, they don't have to talk to me still. And, that's like the best thing for someone. If they personally have an issue, then they can leave the conversation. I'm not going to alter my speech just because someone doesn't want me to talk about something for no reason. And, and if it's a group chat, they'll usually remove you if they have power. So, like that's when, when someone has control freak issues, when they remove you, when they don't want you to talk about something and you didn't do anything wrong, like they're just so fucking, corrupt with their power. And, it's usually people that have power that use it for that. Like they try to police everyone's language, and if they have power, they'll use it against you online, like ban you from like a server on Discord or whatever it is. It's so crazy how people think they can control people's speech, and it doesn't work. People should be able to talk about whatever they want, and I'm a real advocate. I'm a real advocate of freedom of speech, and it's very important. But anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rant. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.